Hello and welcome to All the Pies. My name's Si, that is Kev, and this is the preview of our final game of the season away against Chelsea. We've already secured Champions League, so it doesn't really matter what is going to happen though. Hope you liked the last video when Kev was on with all the other YouTubers, Adam P and the Toon Review. I like the way you went, "Oh, I'm a fan of your channel, Adam. Oh, I'm a big fan of your channel, Paul." So, all the fellow YouTubers, if you want to get a proper good arse rimming off somebody, then invite Kev on your channel and he'll lick that hoop dry.
God, he scored so many goals.
All right.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Didn't tell us you were going to do that.
No, I didn't. I know. I tell you what I'm going to say when I do the intro.
No, you don't. It's not normally that though.
No, it's not normally that. You are like a super fan.
Well, to be fair, Si, it kind of got thrown upon us. In fact, I remember the telephone call where you said, "Right, we'll have a quick pint at the Trent, and what we'll do is we'll walk round to the we'll walk round to the front, and as we're on the way, you went, "Oh, okay, go on, you just go."
I had a bad neck.
I was tipsy, but as I was saying it, I thought myself, that was a bit cheesy. That, but it worked.
It did work. It was very good. Very good feedback of the vlog. You have to do that more. Go out and do your little roving reporter. Yeah.
It was well, everybody at work saw us / heard us as well. So I was signing autographs and whatnot. But yeah, I did well to act a bit more sober than I actually was, because it wasn't just the fact that it was on Sky Sports where I work, which I'll not name, was blazing on all the TVs around the place. So there you go.
Good. Then you're on your Talk Sport at the end.
Aye. But I mean, mine was alright. But how funny was the guy on that was?
All after, yeah.
It was hilarious. That wasn't. I think we can all relate to that, can't we?
Waking his lass up. Like, I'm not asked.
Yeah, I want to go to bed. Can you borrow him off this program, please?
So has it sunk in that won the Champions League yet?
Do you know, like since Monday night, I really haven't had time to let it sink in. I've been working pretty much around the clock, and the only times I'm really getting is when I'm in bed and I'm watching a bit of content from here, there, and everywhere. And I don't know if it will sink in until we're in the ground and we're there,
you hear that music.
or maybe it's the draw. The draw will probably be when it feels real. But at the moment, it's a bit surreal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's mad. Smart. If anyone hears any noise, the dog is out in the back garden because he's a little whinge. I've had to lock the bedroom door because he likes to piss on the bed because he's a little shit. There's 2 massive blue bottles flying around the house, which is doing me head in, and I can't catch them. So they might buzz in front. There's a dog barking there. Vinny!
You can't. You really couldn't hear it, Si. Nah, you can't hear it. You can't hear it. No, I mean, just you shouting, Vinny! Vinny!
Fuck's sake. Vinny! Can you hear him there?
Well, yeah, because you're shouting his name like a chronicle seller on a Saturday afternoon.
Doing it. He's barking. You can see underneath the fence that people walking their dogs. Because we live right next to a big place where people walk their dogs, so you can see them all getting walked. And he's going to flip out now. So you'll have to just put up with it, I'm afraid.
He's a dog, Si. It's what dogs do.
I know. Anyway, are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
let's go.
Get here. Come here.
Si, you're the opposite of the dog whisperer. Like the dog whisperer, like he's like, just one look.
Apple juice. Ooh, apple juice.
Just one look, and then the dog's doing whatever they want to do. Whereas you're like, I've
got nothing to give him to chew on apart from like one of my favorite hats that he's already started chewing. I don't know if you can see at the end of. Yeah, you won't because it's green and I've got green screen. But he's wrecked that. May as well just fucking give him it. Vinny, do you want a vape? Vinny? Right, Chelsea.
You're not got any effigy for him.
No, I haven't got any effies. Chelsea, let's get Chelsea up. Did you watch a match last night, Chelsea Man U?
I did, by
Chelsea
God,
are fucking
like
shite, aren't they?
they are, mate, aren't they? Like it's not even like. I mean, I try to avoid watching them where I can because I don't know. I've never really been a fan of watching Chelsea. Nothing to do with the fans or anything like that. Just
Well, it
ever
was that
since like the
chant,
days of
boring Chelsea, wasn't it? From years.
I mean, the days of Drogba and stuff. They used to be an exciting team to watch. These days, the football just it's not very expansive. It's not anything. I mean,
Frank
the game last
Lampard's going
night.
to be one of the worst managers in Premier League history. He's fucking awful, isn't he? Is he worse than Steve Bruce? He must. He probably has got a worse record. He must do.
I mean, he's probably ahead of Steve Bruce just because he's slightly slimmer, and that's about it. Like that's all he sort of brings to it. He's definitely in the same category. I mean, actually, do you know, as looking over the careers, Steve Bruce is probably a better manager than Frank Lampard. But yeah, and he's a Chelsea legend as a player, and he's now had 2 stabs at it there as a manager. He's never getting invited back to Chelsea as a manager ever again after Sunday.
Let's look at Chelsea last night. Obviously, they got hammered 4-1 off Man U. Week before, they got beat 1-0 off City, who played a weakened team. The week before that, they drew 2-2 at home to Forest. Then they had a win. It was the first win under Lampard, where they beat Bournemouth 3-1. The week before that, though, they got beat 3-1 off Chelsea. And then if we go back,
Chelsea got beat 3-1 off Chelsea. Chelsea got beat 3-1 off Chelsea. They're getting beat off themselves now.
What did I say? Arsenal. I mean Arsenal.
I mean, you can go further back than that side. I mean,
Brentford 2-0, Real Madrid, doesn't matter. Brighton 2-1, Real Madrid 2-0, Wolves 1-0, 0-0 with Liverpool, 2-0 off Villa. Yeah, they're just shite. They're shite.
2-2 at Everton. They're absolutely crap. They got spanked off Spurs. They've been spanked off Southampton this season. They can't get wins against West Ham or Fulham, getting beaten, drawn. They
beat Leicester, Leeds, and Bournemouth since the beginning of March.
Do you know what it is, right? I've been trying to unpack it in my mind coming into this video, and normally what I'll do is I'll look at the highlights of the team that we're playing of like the last 5 or 6 games or so. I haven't even bothered because I think it goes a little bit deeper than that. Now look at everything was rosy-ish in the garden when they had the last owner, and then he decided he was going to fund Russian people who are at war. So he was never going to be able to, because of sanctions, he was never going to be able to. I mean, I don't know if he was funding them. There was rumors that there was links that that there was money going back to the Kremlin or whatever. I don't really get the politics of it, but for whatever reason,
because he was an oligarch. Vinny,
oligarch was it?
So he's an oligarch. All oligarchs, all Russian business was banned. I'm gonna have to pause for a second. I will edit this out while I go and give the dog something to eat or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I've got a slice of Edam and some Cheerios.
Is that for you or the dog?
It's for the dog. Yeah.
Have you ever tried dog food?
He hates it. I've told you.
Of course he hates it. He's a dog. You make him eat it.
He won't.
Out there, don't give him anything else, and then he won't
but listen, we've got 2 cats, so he just goes and eats the Shiba.
Oh, I suppose cat food's not as bad as
and eats the Dreamies. So he refuses dog food, so he eats all the cat food. So what are you going to do? You know what I mean? I'm going to have to keep feeding him little slices of Edam to shut him up. Right, crack on, because he'll only be quiet for a certain amount of time. This is the most unprofessional video.
Right, so picking up where we left off. So yeah, I mean, look, we can't really throw stones when it comes to ownership, and maybe it's the morals of ownership. So whatever happened with their past Russian owners happened. They got Todd Bowley through the door. How much did he pay for it?
I don't know how much he paid. Was it
like in the region of 3.5 billion or something?
It was in the billions, yeah.
Yeah, about 3.5 billions or something. Which, you know, Chelsea at the time were a team known all over the world. You know, if you're an American owner and you're wanting to sort of promote any other sort of brands, Chelsea's a good team to do that with. So the price that was the price they put it at. But what I want to go through is just the signings that they've done so far this season.
The half a
Because
billion worth.
yeah,
Half a billion. Half a billion.
we had a takeover not too long before they had their takeover, and I get they've got a lot more room on FFP, but the two models of how they've decided to sort of run the club couldn't be any further away from each other.
Mm-hmm.
So Newcastle United have came in with a model that made sense for them. Yes, we were in a relegation battle when we got taken over, and we couldn't just go out there like Flash Harry and sign whoever we wanted. But they've looked at who they were signing and they've had a plan about it. They brought Kieran Trippier in, who was going to sort out the back line. You know, we've signed Nick Pope, who's a fantastic goalkeeper. Sven Botman, an amazing centre back. He's been able to go on that back line along with Dan Burn and completely rejuvenate the defence on there. We've got Bruno Guimaraes in the middle, who was just a number 6 that we were crying out for. We fitted players into areas that would need them, and they picked a certain type of player. It wasn't like, oh, he looks good, we'll sign him. He looks good. Whereas you look at Chelsea. And let's have a little go through them. So I'm going to go through them in order of expense, and I might get some of the pronunciations wrong of the players. So they've got Dennis Zakaria, who was on loan from Juventus, and that cost a 3 million loan fee. He is he's a defensive midfielder. We've got the goalkeeper from the MLS from Chicago for 9 million, Gabriel Slonina. They've got João Felix on loan from Atletico Madrid. That was an £11 million loan fee. And it wasn't
Was
even
that the
a full
loan fee,
season.
11 million?
£11 million loan fee. They got David Fofana from Molde. No, that's not that Fofana.
All right.
Different Fofana. They've got a centre forward for 12 million. He is the Irishman who played for Molde for 12 million. They got Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang from Barcelona for 12 million. They got Andres Santos, the central midfielder from Vasco da Gama in the Serie A, 12.5 million. They got Chukwuemeka. How do you say it? Chukwuemeka. Carney Chukwuemeka from Aston Villa, 18 million. I mean, what a season he's had. Malo Gusto from Lyon, they paid £30 million for him.
I haven't even heard of him.
Yeah, right back, 19-year-old, 30 million, one for the future. Moni Madek from Eindhoven, £35 million. Koulibaly at the age of 31, right, from Napoli in the Serie A, £38 million for that. And I guess centre backs have a bit longer on the career. £38 million for a 31-year-old is a lot of money. Badiashile, Benoit Badiashile, the centre back again from Monaco, £38 million. Raheem Sterling, the left winger from Man City, £56.2 million. Right? Yeah. Oh, signing of the century, Mark Cucurella. Oh no, we'll get to him. So Mark Cucurella from Brighton, who, to be fair, was playing well at Brighton.
He had a cracking season at Brighton.
Well, he had a good. He had a good 6 months. He had a good 6 months. Then he
I don't know. I think he had a pretty good full season at Brighton. Like,
did he have a 65.3 million good season?
No.
At left back, he didn't know, did he? He didn't. Yeah.
And they've fucked it up from everybody else who wants to try and raid Brighton players this year. They've fucked it up by chucking that amount of money at Cucurella. So now you're getting like fucking McAllister, 70 million. And obviously there's no chance we're going to get Matoma because they're going to stick 80 million on him. Do you know what I mean?
Casido.
What Enzi, what's he called, that midfielder? Oh, fucking Enciso. Is it Enciso?
Caicedo?
No, not Caicedo. Enciso, I think he's called.
Anybody who's wanting to sign anybody from Brighton, unless you're Chelsea, You're going to pay a Chelsea fee now, so thank you, Chelsea, for that. So Mikhailo Mudryk from Shakhtar Donetsk, £70 million, right? We'll stop on him. We'll stop on him because we were linked with him, weren't we? And did you see his performance last night?
Awful. He just can't finish.
He was missing the ball at stages, man. Missing the ball.
Within the first 15 minutes, he missed a sitter, like a complete sitter. It was just awful.
So
shocking.
We'll move on, and then we'll dissect it a bit. Wesley Fofana from Leicester, 80.4 million. 80.4 million for Wesley Fofana. And the cherry on the top, Enzo Fernandez, who, to be fair, had a really good World Cup with Argentina. 121 million. 121 million. Add that all together, comes to a nice, cool 611 million in one season.
Crazy.
One season, right? And I know that they've got a lot of scope around the world. You telling me they can afford 611 million? I know they put all of these players on long contracts.
8-year contracts.
Yeah. They're stuck with Mudryk for 8 years or whatever wage he's demanding, while he's missing pretty much open goals and missing the ball. Now, right. So, what was the plan there when they went out and signed those players? Had they sat down and went, these are the players we're looking for, and this is the reason why, and this is how they're going to work in this system? Mm-hmm. I can tell you the answer to that. The answer to that is categorically no. He's just decided to put his cartridge in his Sega Mega Drive and went, let's have a little game of Championship Manager, and I'm just going to sign absolutely everyone.
He's watched the fucking, God, my mind's went blank. What's it called? The Europe Cup? The Euros. Christ. He watched the Euros and he's watched the Copa America and went, oh, him. Just however
the World
much.
Cup.
Just blank
the
check.
World Cup. Aye. Yeah. It just absolutely stinks of somebody who's got no game plan and just thinks that you can throw money and buy what they perceive as the best players, which they're not, and assume that they're just going to gel. The difference in recruitment is miles apart between the two clubs, both of which have a lot of money. One has a definite plan. One is doing it gradually. One is making players fit the system that they've got in. And I think one is probably getting a little bit of input from the manager as well to what it is that he needs and who it is that he wants. The other one has a new owner who's just coming in and trying to get his bollocks out and swing them around the place and show that he's the new big dog in town. And it's
monumentally fucked up as well.
Completely backfired. It's completely backfired because they're now sitting 12th, could possibly finish the season 13th. After spending all of that money. So I don't want to hear any of this. Oh, it's all the money they spent Newcastle. That's why they've got in the Champions League, right?
Because of course you're going to hear that.
Because I've just told you the difference between the two recruitments there now.
I know, Kev, but Kev, rival fans don't care. They just say whatever they want on social media. It doesn't matter, does it?
I know they don't, and I suppose to a point I've been like that a little bit myself in the past.
People know it's a majority down to how the fact we're playing with the majority of the squad that were there before the takeover. People know that, but you know what I mean. Liverpool fans and fucking other fans just like they go, I told them oil money, dirty this, dirty that. Yeah, it's just what they're going to do. Anyway, we've spoken enough about Chelsea.
There is just one more point before we move away from Chelsea, because then that's all I want to speak about them. I want to talk about the tune after that. I want to talk about the manager process that they've had as well, because that's been a bit of a joke. They started off with a world-class manager, Thomas Tuchel, right? Mm-hmm. And then they
would have been relegated had they not had the points that he accrued for them. They would have been relegated.
It was silly.
And, Lampard.
It was silly because they were saying, he's lost the dressing room. He's lost the dressing room. Sacked him. Went boatload of new players. It didn't make any sense. So they bring in Harry Potter, and Harry Potter has a little stab at it. None of his players, completely not the type of players that he would be wanting to work with. He would have went in there with a plan of what he wants to do.
The thing is, this is where I want to come in. The thing is that I've heard is that on the training pitch, there was up to 5 interpreters during training sessions. Now that's not a way to run a training session, is it? In any way, shape, or form. That's not you can't possibly run a quick and snappy and get all your points across when there's 5 interpreters on the training ground with you, relaying the message from the manager to the players, and then trying to relay that what other players are saying to other players. It's not going to work, is it? It's just that's
So yeah, I
that's
mean,
what Todd Bowley them, because obviously it's his spend. It's the players he's wanted. That they haven't thought about any of that whatsoever.
no, none of it. And it's the managers that keep getting the short end of the stick. You know, Tuchel got the blame, right? So then they brought Potter in. Potter had less success than Tuchel did, right? Oh, so it must be Potter's fault. So they get rid of Potter and they bring Super Frank Lampard back in, who's had even less success than the one before him.
Craziest
Well, hang on.
to bring Lampard in, like crazy.
It was madness. It was desperation. Let's just get somebody in who will take it. Now it's looking to me like when are people going to realize that spending all this money has been the silliest decision that he could have made? They needed to have a plan. They need to have a plan. They didn't have one, but I'm pleased they did it because there's another team. I know everyone's saying, "Oh, Chelsea will come get again."
Well, not next season.
Come well again next season. Based on what?
Oh,
Based
God,
on what? If anything, they look like they're getting worse. Watching
they'll
them
not.
last night. So I don't want to hear none of that.
The top 10, but I don't even think they'll get the Europa places.
No, neither do I, because I'm not seeing anything that's telling me that they're going to turn around. And yes, I know there's talks of Pochettino, and you know he is a good manager.
It's
Same as
almost
Thomas
nailed on.
Tuchel's a good manager. Same as Graham Potter's a good manager.
It's not just talks about it.
It's pretty much nailed on. Yeah. I know, and maybe he might make a little bit of a difference. But I tell you what, he's not going to turn them players there into a top 4 side. Absolutely not. And clip that.
What they're going to do? Throw more money at it.
That's exactly what they're going to do. Yeah. It's exactly what they're going to do. You think Pochettino's going to come in and just say, "All right, well, I'll tell you what, I'll just use these players that we've got here, and I don't want to sign any more players." Yeah. And Todd Bowley, you know what I mean? What's he supposed to do with his massive hard-on that he's got for signing players? He's not just going to let it ride all summer. Nah, he's going to be out there doing it again.
Lose some of the assets that have kept Chelsea a top team, like Mason Mount and that, and what's he called? Oh God, my memory's terrible. But they're going to lose them players that are probably keeping the bit of morale going and understanding the club and what have you. If they get rid of their homegrown players, I just can't see anything but.
Well, they've got Lukaku coming back as well, haven't they? Yeah. Because he's just on loan at the moment. You know who their best player was last night? Lewis Hall. Yeah. Lewis Hall was head and shoulders above any of those signings that I've just mentioned there. Any other player on there, he looked dangerous down the left hand side. He was putting crosses in. Conor Gallagher looked terrible. Yeah. Conor Gallagher looked absolutely terrible.
He didn't under Tuchel. He's not being traded. Frank Lampard's not a coach, and he's quite clearly not a manager. So he's just making players worse. So maybe Poch will have, because Poch is a coach. Maybe he will have some effect on them, but he's gonna have to bench or loan out some of these huge £100 million signings. They're gonna have to go because they're obviously not going to fit in. But anyway, let's bring up our, not that it matters, this season, as we always say, our historical since the Premier League era with Chelsea. They've won 29. We've only won 14 with 12 draws. Obviously, we beat them at home this season. They beat us last season away. And then, obviously, they've just beat us before that each time under Bruce. But that means nothing. That means absolutely nothing. But what we will get to, because, well, let's have a look at...
I mean, the last game we played, it was Willock, wasn't he? He scored that absolutely lovely goal, didn't he?
Yeah, let's just have a quick look. Hold on.
Which he won't be doing tomorrow. Or Sunday, sorry.
Let's have a quick look at how they lined up last night. So, yeah, Kepa in goal. Chalobah, Azpilicueta, Fofana, and Lewis Hall, as you said, was probably the best player. Then they had Enzo Fernandez, Conor Gallagher, Chuck Wenmeka,
Yeah, that's his name. I couldn't.
and Mudryk,
Fella.
Havertz, and Maduwake.
Midweek.
Anyway. And then look at the bench. They've got like Thiago Silva, Koulibaly, Pulisic, and Loftus-Cheek's past his best. I would say. Ziyech, João Felix, and that Fofana. But yeah, it's just the way they're coached and the way they're managed. They're just the Dink on the.
Yeah, and there seems to be a bit of toxicity around the club as well, doesn't it? I know I said we're moving on from Chelsea.
We're moving on, yeah. So say they lined up like that. Let's just say, because we don't know how Chelsea will line up, and I don't think it really matters how they line up. My concern tomorrow is that Nick Pope is out. He's had an operation on his fingers. Eddie Howe's press conference, I was listening to it just before I started recording, didn't get all the way through, but Willock is out, Joe Linton is out, and Manquillo, not that he's a starter, but he's out as well. So what lineup are we going to go with tomorrow?
Sunday.
Sorry. For me, it'll be Dubravka in goal, because he's been on the bench all season, even though I would have probably went with help us out.
Karius.
Because obviously I think he had a good game, even though we got beat in the cup final. I think he had a good game, and not a fan.
I think Dubravka is a better keeper than Karius,
probably, but
for being honest.
I lost all like fondness towards him when he pushed for the move and wouldn't even fight for his shirt. Anyway, so I think it will be Dubravka in goal. I think the back four, fingers crossed, will remain the same, because Lascelles is also out. So you can't spring in Lascelles. I think one change he might make is he might replace Byrne for God, I'm having a fucking nightmare the day with words, Kev.
Target.
God, it's because of the medication I'm on. I'm on bloody ultra strong blueies. I am for neck pain. So I cannot get my words out. When people ask us why I don't do comedy anymore, this is why. I can't even get me words out. Anyway, yeah. So that's how the back forward line up. I think it will be Longstaff. Bruno, I think, would have been rested had Willock and Joe Linton not been played. So I think it'll be Longstaff, Bruno, and Elliot Anderson in the middle. Then I think it'll be Almiron or Murphy, probably Almiron. Then on the other side, I think it'll be Isaac. And then up front, it'll be Wilson. Even though I would like to see Maxi start, Isaac start together, and bring Wilson off the bench. But that's just me. That's how I think we'll line up.
And I'm inclined to agree with that exact lineup. I agree with you as well on the comment about Bruno Guimaraes. I mean, he's pretty much set himself now. He's been playing with an injury, and I think they would have looked to have rested him.
You were thinking maybe they'll bring Gordon in for him.
Yeah,
they might, but it would be a funny old lineup.
Would I? I think they'll probably say, look, if Bruno, have you got one more? You got 60 more minutes in you.
60 minutes in you, yeah, that's it.
You got 60 more minutes in you. Otherwise, they would have rested him. That team that you mentioned there is good enough to beat that team I watched last night.
Yeah. I think we will.
I mean, it's not a given. I mean, Chelsea did create a few chances last night, but their finishing.
They were creating chances, but they couldn't finish for shit.
Can't finish for it. They just got zero confidence. Whereas us, on the other hand, our confidence will be somewhere near 100. Just qualified for Champions League, and although we got 0-0 against Leicester, watching the game back, which I have done a few times, by God, we were knocking on the door a lot, weren't we? We just dominated the possession, absolutely dominated the possession.
When they parked the bus from minute one,
exactly,
until minute 89, when they just decided to have a go.
And I can't see Chelsea doing that at Stamford Bridge. They've got no reason to do that. They'll want to have a goal. They'll want to, especially Frank Lampard. He's what's going to be most likely his last ever game at Chelsea.
Yeah,
at Stamford Bridge. He'll want to sort of say, well, I did beat a Champions League team right at the end there.
Mm.
Pop that on his CV before he goes to manage
League
Wycombe
One.
Wanderers.
I think you'll go. I think you'll go abroad.
Yeah.
China, Saudi, somewhere like that.
See you later, Frank.
Yeah.
But yeah, that team you mentioned there should be good enough to beat that Chelsea team that I watched last night, who is a team with zero confidence. And Elliot Anderson, who's probably going to be the big change in that, had a decent game against Leicester.
He did. He did.
He didn't look out of place at all. And when I look at the Elliot Anderson at the end of the season compared to Elliot Anderson at the beginning of the season, he looks different. He looks like the beginning of the season. He looked quite young. He didn't look like as stocky as he does now. Now he looks like a force, and he looks like an adult out there. He looks like somebody who can force his way around, not going to be pushed about. And I think we're going to start seeing him breaking through, especially next season with all these extra games. He's going to really start putting himself to the forefront and shuffling himself towards the front of the pack. And hopefully he can have a similar season to what we've had from Longstaff next season.
I think he'll definitely be played in the Carabao and the FA Cups. 100%.
100% he will, no doubt about it. So, look, although there's a few injuries there to some key players, we should have enough. We should have enough to get over the line with this. If Gordon doesn't start, it means we've still got a little something coming off the bench. Like you say, could they start with Maxi? Possibly, and then keep a bit of firepower on the bench in case it's needed to switch it around. There's a very high possibility of that, because
I don't think he will. I think he'll stick with the formation that he's been sticking with, playing Isaac and Wilson together.
Yeah,
which I'm not a fan of. It just doesn't free up. It doesn't free up Isaac.
No, I mean, you see that, but we were both called for it, and it happened in the Leicester game where we wanted sort of Wilson to go off, not because he was having a bad game or anything like that, but just so we could see Isaac in that central role. But it wasn't the type of game from there because it was so compact in the middle. It was just impossible to get through. So this is the game you want to see him in the middle. I look at the games where he's played in the middle and he's been really impactful. So there was Brentford away. Also, when we played West Ham. He came off the bench against West Ham, didn't he? But when he did come off the bench, looked really, really good when he scored that goal against the keeper. When we play away from home and we're against teams that are going to open themselves up a little bit and come out with a little bit, that's when he comes into his own, doesn't he?
I think he'd skin Chalobah. I think he'd have him on toast all day.
Mm-hmm.
So, score predictions. I'm going to go because I think this could be anything. I think it could be a nervy draw with both teams on holiday. I think it could be a thrashing by Chelsea against us, because we could have even more players out that we don't know about. Or I think it could be a comfortable, nice 2-1, or I think it could be us smashing them. I don't know. I literally don't know. I'm not sure at all. So I'm just going to go 2-1, and I'm going to go Anderson, Longstaff for us, and whoever for them.
I'm going to go 3-1 Newcastle. 3-1 Newcastle. I know all the way across I'd been saying I don't want it to go to the last day. Chelsea was never an easy game. And then I watched last night and I was like, these are fucking dink. These are terrible, these. And I'm going in. Now, this could be a bad thing because I normally get it wrong all the time. I'm going in really confident. And I think it's going to be Elliot Anderson and Wilson and Isaac get one each.
Right. Mint. Well, everyone, comment below with what you think the score prediction will be, what you think of Chelsea, how you think we'll line up against them, given all the injuries. If you've enjoyed the video, please remember to hit the thumbs up. I keep forgetting I meant to do that at the beginning because not everyone watches till the end because they're all fickle and that. Little bunch of bastards. Hit subscribe if you haven't done it already. So I'll call them whatever I want to call them, Kevin.
Our pie heads, Kevin. I'm calling you Kevin now. Our pie heads, Simon.
Pie heads. Oh, you well, no, you call them pie. I call them little mugs. Our little mugs. Yeah. Join us again on probably Sunday evening. I would imagine. Well, we'll come back with the review.
It won't be Sunday evening because I'm in Wheatby this weekend. I don't get back till Monday, so it'll have to be Monday.
Right, well, join us Monday for the review of the Chelsea game, which will be our final video of the football season. But don't worry, it'll not be our final video. We have plenty planned for the off-season, plenty of little surprises that we're going to be bringing to you. So if you want to be the first to know when those videos come out, when you hit subscribe, also hit that little bell, and then you will be notified of all our new releases. So until Monday, we will see you later on. Take care, tatty bye, and ta-ra.
Come on.